Do you know what, yeah? It's just gonna take a lot of time. It's just gonna take a lot of time. And if you have time, then this might be the journey for you. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am JC from JustLostJC or whatever. Ugh. Yo, imagine if I just did my whole intro in my broke down Canadian accent. Yo, how would that be? How are you guys doing? What's going on? I am doing well. I hope you guys are too. And today's video, as you can see from the title, is true. I have not combed my hair for 6 years. I couldn't believe it. I looked back at the video that I made 4 years ago, and so doing some quick maths, I have not brushed my hair or combed my hair for 6 years. So let's just get into it. Let's just get down to the nitty-gritty, how I feel about it, how it's been going for me, and why I do it. So for those of you guys that do not know, we are currently doing on this channel a 3-month hair journey. So I just came off of a 6-month hair journey, had some breakage, had some damage, and my hair has been doing amazingly well after that 6-month journey because I have been using a growth oil that, luckily for you, I am still selling and it is still in stock. Okay, this oil is jam-packed and it's the oil that we are continuing to use on, or I am continuing to use, and so many people that are following me are using on this 3-month protective style journey. So definitely click the link down below if you're interested in this oil. Okay, so let's just get into when I decided to do this. So a bit over 6 years ago is when I decided to do the curly girl method. That's how this all started. I said I'm gonna do the curly girl method. My hair was going through some things and I wanted to try a different approach to hair care. So that's when I stumbled upon the curly girl method. Now, the curly girl method has a whole bunch of other things associated with. I'm not going to get into all of that because this isn't a video about the curly girl method. It's about the no comb, no brush. But one of the more extreme parts, or the extreme rules, I guess, with the curly girl method is using no brushes or comb tools in your hair when detangling. Now, when I went on the curly girl method, I was not interested in the no tool aspect. That's not why I joined. I joined for other reasons, mainly like the list of products that they suggest that you don't, or ingredients I should say, that they suggest that you don't use. It was more for that. That was more so what I was interested in. But when I saw the no tools and no combing, I said, you know what? Maybe I should give it a try. Maybe I should try the whole curly girl method as a whole. Now, I'm not doing 100%. There are some ingredients that in the more strict curly girl method that I technically wouldn't be able to use. I think alcohol is one of them and all these kind of stuff, but I don't do 100%. So it was very strange, let's just say, for me to even want to do the no comb, no brush, because like I said, I wasn't going to follow the curly girl method strictly. But for some reason, something in my spirit, and I don't know what, I don't know why, I don't know how, okay? I don't know how, but something told me, JC, try finger detangling your hair. Try not using a tool, try it, let's see how it goes. So of course I want to tell you guys and show you guys how my hair was before. So when I first started the curly girl method, before I started, my hair was super dry all the time. Don't get me wrong, it was growing, I was having the length, but in terms of the feeling of it, it was very dry. It felt very brittle. It felt like if I didn't immediately put conditioner in my hair, once that conditioner dried, it felt like I had nothing on there. There was so much buildup. I noticed that my hair was getting, or felt, a bit more weighed down, and because of that felt very limp, thin looking, not as voluminous, all these things. I also felt like the way my hair was going, it felt very irregular. Every time I did my hair, I didn't know what the outcome would be. And to me, I just didn't get that, because if I'm doing the same style and using the same products, how come today I have so much buildup, but then the next day I don't? It just felt like I had not much of a handle on my hair, and I didn't really like that feeling. And so that's why I stumbled onto the curly girl method. From that, I felt like, you know what, maybe this thing is onto something. I'm not a Kelly girl. Okay, at the time, curly had a very specific meaning here on YouTube, mind you, 6 years ago. Like, there were only certain textures of hair. How can I, you know what I'm saying? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Yeah? Okay. So there were only certain textures of hair doing the curly girl method, but I just felt like I need a change. I'm not liking what's going on. And I have a feeling that maybe if I were to tailor my products, maybe if I were to get a bit more expensive products and look at the ingredients in them, I could combat whatever is happening right now that I'm not really enjoying. On top of that, I had a lot of dandruff as well. It was just, and I just literally thought I just had dandruff. I was like, that's just my life. I just have a very dry scalp and dandruff. Needless to say, I no longer have that. So clearly, a lot of things were going wrong. So this brings me to how I have managed to not comb or brush my hair for 6 good years. For 6 years that have passed. Who even knew? Time was flying. Let me tell you, okay? It was just finger detangling. It was finger detangling as opposed to using combs. And I would try my best to get from the root to the end of the hair to make sure I'm not having any matting or any dreading or anything happening at the top of my hair, which can be the place where people forget to detangle when they're finger detangling. So yes, just finger detangling. I'm gonna put some clips on the screen now, but as you can see, my fingers just glide through the hair clumps, all the things that you like to see when you're detangling your hair, when you're detangling with a tool, let's say that you have that you really like using, like a certain brush. Those things would happen when I was using my fingers. So yeah, it was a very successful thing to me, obviously, which is why I have continued to do it for 6 years. So if you are wondering, does she like this? Is this something that she enjoys? Was this just because her hair is super crazy or difficult? No, it's literally just a preference of mine, and it's something that I actually do enjoy. I have used combs in the past. Before the 6 years, I was using combs, and that was perfectly fine for me. But with finger detangling, I just don't know if I can go back. It would be very, very difficult to go back, I should say. Never say never, you know? Okay, I want to go into the pros, the things that I have found very beneficial to finger detangling. Like, again, I did not go into the curly girl method thinking that I would use the no comb part because I didn't think I had any issues with the styling tools that I was using. And I really did not. When I actually put all the pieces together, I did not have any issues with my styling tools. But a pro that I happened to find in doing this was that my hair actually started getting less frizzy, which is weird because you think 4C hair in general, it does have a bit of frizz, and that's kind of what helps with the volume and stuff like that. But yeah, no, it was less frizzy than that. I think it's because my hair started being trained to clump, so the curl or coil pattern of my hair started to show way, way, way more when I started finger detangling. Like, I always used to hear, you know, 4C hair, 4B hair has kind of a coil, but when I was using my wide tooth comb, really, I didn't really see it. You know, and I love twist outs even now, but even then I was doing twist outs, okay? So my hair would go from brush into a twist out. So that was the curl pattern that I was used to seeing, is a twist out curl pattern. And then when it came to washing my hair, putting conditioner in it and using a comb, the comb would immediately brush out whatever curl I maybe could have seen. So even during the wash day process, to me, my hair was just, you know, very frizzy, very all over the place. I didn't really have a curl pattern, which at the time, that's fine with me. I'm not a big wash and go somebody, okay? I'm not a good big wash and go and leave my house. I'm not a big wash and go and then stand in my mirror for 2 hours to try to make a walk type of person. So to me, it didn't really matter. I like twist outs then, I like twist outs now. How we got to the twist outs, whether it's through finger detangling or whether it's through a comb, honey, I didn't really give a bloody damn, okay? Wow, I woke up today and chose violence. That's crazy. But yes, like I was saying, it really didn't matter how I got to the twist outs. Twist outs have been, twist outs have been and have oh my god! Have been and has been. Please. Got to the twist out. Twist outs have been and will always be. There we go. There's English. Okay. The fact that I'm saying I don't have much more frizz now, it doesn't really do that much more for me. But what I will say though, is that because I don't have much frizz anymore with my wash days, and because my hair naturally clumps now, it's trained to clump, you can see the coils a lot more. When I do twist outs, you can see my curl pattern as well as the twist out curl pattern. So in a way, it kind of makes my hair or my twist outs look less organized. It makes it look less I don't know, planned. It gives it more of a natural, oh, maybe this is just her hair pattern thing, or maybe it's her hair pattern stretch. It doesn't necessarily look like a typical twist out, which I kind of like the look of, because before my twist outs would be very, very rigid. They would be very clearly uniformed twist out look, which some people really like that. For me personally, I like the more natural look that my twist outs now have because of the clumping pattern that's also, you know, embedded in the twist pattern, if you get what I'm saying. Hopefully you guys are picking up what I'm putting down. Another thing that I really like is using my fingers has allowed me to feel the knots, the individual knots. Now before, obviously, when you're using a comb, you don't know, you know, you feel the knot maybe when you're combing through, but you don't really know how severe that knot is, and so you kind of start working at it, using your eyes, trying to gauge it and see what's happening, and then kind of in the end just comb through, brush through. You receive some breakage, but that kind of comes with the territory. At least that's what I used to do. That's what I used to think. It was all good. Now with my fingers, I can feel a tangle before I feel it, if that makes sense. Like my finger brushes on, I'm like, oh, that's a knot. And before I hit that, like you would hit with a comb, which the comb then tells you, oh, there's a knot, I feel it already. So then I could then take my time and pinpoint that exact knot and take it out. Now, luckily, I don't have crazy knots anymore. Actually, I think I had worse knots back when I was using a brush or a comb, I think because my curl pattern was everywhere. But now that everything is clumping, the knots are really not that severe. And when I have products in, the products that I use do have slip, it's not so hard to kind of figure out what is causing this knot and take it out. And if anything, I do sometimes keep a pair of scissors next to me. At least I used to in the beginning. Now I don't really, because like I said, my knots are not that severe. They're usually something that I can really work out and get out with my fingers. But sometimes if you need to, you have a little scissor on the side and you can cut out, you know, sometimes when you have a strand of hair and then there's this knot on it with all this other fallen hair or broken hair, whatever. Now I can actually cut it out, use some hair shears, cut it properly because I can see it and I can identify it and then get into it. So yeah, I really like that. So that I would consider a pro. And ultimately, I think that leads me to the last pro that I have, which is less breakage. Now, like I said in the beginning, I did not know that I needed less breakage. That's not something that I was looking for when I entered into the curly girl method. That's not something that I was, I don't know, hoping to gain when I started finger detangling. Honestly, I felt like my hair still had a great density at the time. I mean, it was kind of thinning, but I figured that was more because of the products really than the comb and stuff. And it really was. It was because of the products. But also, when you're taking more care with your hair, where you're being more gentle, of course, you're going to receive less breakage, and that's just ultimately going to make your hair fuller, bigger, all the things. So that was happening too as a result, because with the comb, or with, well, I never use brushes, but with the comb, because I couldn't individually detangle each little knot or whatever, I would have to comb right through it, and so of course that leads to some breakage, rather than when I'm using my finger and I can feel a snag, I can stop myself, I can feel it, and I can go through it. So of course we're gonna have less breakage with that, which we love to see, okay? Because I wanna be fair and balanced, of course I have to give you a con and hello. I said hello. It's a huge one. I said it's a huge con for not putting a comb in my hair for 6 years. Let me tell you, I think you know what it is, but it's really time, okay? Father, time. Time is of the essence. Time is money. Are you getting? Do you know what, yeah? It's just gonna take a lot of time. It's just gonna take a lot of time. And if you have time, then this might be the journey for you. If you don't have time, then I totally get it. Like, it's not for everybody. So I had time at the time. I think I was in high school, maybe college, I don't even remember when I first started this. So I had some time, or maybe I didn't have time, but I thought I had time and I made time. Who knows? You know, it's just like everything. Do you have time to meal prep? Maybe you don't, but if you want to meal prep, you do it. Do I have time to work out? Half the time, no, but I make sure it's in my schedule and I get it done. You know, do I have time to finger detangle? Yet I'm here and I'm doing it. So I don't know. Time, I guess, is what you make it, but some people actually don't have time. Also, not everyone has 4B, 4C hair. Not everyone has my type of hair. Some people have more fine hair, which I hear it's a bit harder to detangle. My strands, the actual hair strands, are thick, so that might make it a bit easier. The products that I use, I found products that have enough slip for my hair. That also may play some part in it. But even with all those things, even with the way I know my hair, even with the way I have thick hair strands, it does definitely take more time than it took when I was using a comb. I've never thought that I would be able to get the detangle or finger detangle time down to the same time that it took me to detangle with a comb. I never assumed that. I never imagined that. And it has in fact not been the case. For 6 years, I have not been able to do it. Now, Has the time gotten shorter from when I first ever started 6 years ago? Absolutely. However, has it gotten shorter from how long it took when I was just using a comb? No. Okay, so now I'm gonna give you guys some tips if you're interested in finger detangling. Come on now. Come on, tips. Tooting my own horn. Yep. Tip number 1. The first few times that you do this will be difficult. The first time I finger detangled ever, I said, how am I gonna get through this job? How am I gonna get through this? I said, listen, with a T, listen, okay? Leave your comb or whatever you used before to finger detangle, have it next to you, have it handy, because you will get frustrated. You will feel like this isn't gonna work for my hair and you're gonna need something. Instead of you going ham with your hands and ripping the hair out and whatever, you're just gonna need at some point after maybe doing one section finger detangling, you might be tired of it. You said, this is enough, I can't do it, I can't do it. So you have your comb handy and you use that. Next time, try again, more sections, you know? Maybe you don't get the whole head, but you get a few more sections. The next time, you try the whole head. But definitely just have your comb handy. That's gonna be my tip number 1. So that first time that I did it, the back section of my hair actually, it did take a while, but then I got through it, and then I got through it and my hands were running. So that's when I was like, okay, this is possible. Did the other back section. Now the back sections of my hair naturally do clump a lot more, so it was great that I started with them and had a great experience. But when I started inching up to the he and the he, the who and the ha, the who's and the buzz, my dear, I said, my dear, things started getting a little crinkum crankum, higgy haga, hotelite, bottom pops, looking like egg. Do you get what I'm saying? Okay. Next tip will definitely have to be the products. Have products in your hair that you know have slip for your hair. Slip is very, very important when you're doing this. You cannot finger detangle and think you're gonna have no slip. Maybe you could get away with that with a comb and brushes, perhaps, but with finger detangling, you really, really want to have products that have slip for your hair. Not all products have slip for the same, or the same type of slip for different people, so you know, but we all know those products. We all have those products in our arsenal that we're like, yeah, you got the slip, baby, you got the slip, baby. Them's the ones you want to use, yeah. Them's the one you want to use, yeah. Which brings me to tip número 2. Right, English, Spanish, you know, whatever. I'm bilingual bae. Next, you want to make sure that you have your hair wet. Very wet at most times. Like, you don't want damp hair, you actually want it wet. Sometimes when I'm finger detangling, when I'm like, okay, it's taking it, get the spray bottle, have the spray bottle handy. That is important for me. That really does help me. The more wet the hair is, the easier that it is for me to finger detangle. Last but not least tip would be, make sure that you get all the way to the roots. That is a fear I think that a lot of people, especially with my type of hair, have, the kinkier hair have, that you're gonna not detangle your hair properly. You're gonna end up with knotting and locks in the long run. I've been doing this for 6 years. I think if I were gonna have locks, I would have them. Pun intended. But yeah, if I were gonna have locks at this point, I would know my hair has grown, fallen out. I'm sure the hair cycle has happened to my hair many times at this point, okay? We're good. We're good over here. So one of the reasons that I am good though is because I go from the roots, or I make sure, when I finish finger detangling and I'm done, to go from the roots to the tip, just to make sure that I've really gotten it all out. That is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, I am selling a hair oil. You can see that I have so much new growth. Like, I installed these things. Has to be a week and a half ago, and look at what we're doing now. We're doing bits. Like, I could not believe how much black is now showing. It's crazy. So the hair is growing. Apply that oil every 2 to 3 times a week. The link will be down below in the description box if you're joining on our protective style journey. Anyway, if this was helpful to you, if you learned something new about finger detangling, if you've tried it before in the past and you felt like, it didn't work for me, let us all know. If you've had a terrible experience with it, if you have a great experience, all experiences are welcomed, because I only have my type of hair, and so people with other type of hair might have some questions and maybe you'd be able to answer it. So definitely do comment down below your experiences with finger detangling. And yeah, you can follow OMALICHILD on Instagram if you're interested. That's the hair oil page. All the hair inspiration, okay? All the hair inspiration. All textures, listen, all shapes, all sizes. We love to see it. Okay, and then of course if you're interested, you can follow me on my personal Instagram. I think I'm away for I'm away. I don't know when I'm gonna post this, but I am away for the moment, taking an IG break because it's Lent or whatever, but you can still follow me. It's still up. I'm gonna put it here on the screen, and I think that's all. Yeah, all right, well, thank you a lot for watching, and yeah, I'm gonna see you in my next video. Bye guys.